You're listening to the My Simplified Life podcast, and this is episode number 47. Welcome to the My Simplified Life podcast, a place where you will learn that your past and even your present don't define your future. Regardless of what stage of life you're in, I want you to feel inspired and encouraged to pursue your dreams, simplify your life, and start taking action today. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and I'm excited to share my stories and life lessons with you while taking you on my own journey. This is My Simplified Life. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, and before we dive in today, I want to remind you that the doors are open for my course, Podcasting Confidence. I've collaborated with my dear friend and top-rated podcast host, Allie Casazza, to create this course for you that covers every single thing you could possibly need to create, launch, and grow your podcast. I'm beyond proud of what we've created for you, and I know this course is exactly what the world needs because we don't hold back on any of the details. Head over to podcastingconfidence.com for all of the details and get your voice out into the world. Now, on to today's episode. We're not going to stop talking about podcasting. If you head over to the Purpose Show this week, you're going to hear Allie talk about building a community around podcasting. So I'm sharing with you my tech knowledge when it comes to podcasting today. I'm going to share with you an overview of what you need to do to launch a podcast. And let's be honest, this is stuff you can Google, but between this episode and the course we're launching, you won't need to Google a single thing. Okay, you've decided to start a podcast, but what are you going to need to record? Friends, this is simpler than you think. If you're an Apple user, then you can use GarageBand for solo episodes or Audacity. For your interviews, you can use a platform such as Zencastr, and don't worry, I'll have links to all of this in the show notes. The best part so far is that these are free platforms. You can also record from a headset, or if you want to step it up, I recommend the Blue Yeti mic, which is what I'm using right now. One tip on that, make sure you speak into the side of the mic and not the top. It's not like a regular microphone. Now, what fancy studio can you record in? That's a trick question, you guys, because I am literally recording from my bedroom closet, and it is the best place for echo absorption and produces the most perfect sound. So you don't need a fancy studio. You can do it in a closet. And if your closet isn't big enough, I literally have clients who record under a blanket. Podcasting is intimate, so you can make it a truly cozy experience if you're recording under a blanket. Once you've got your episodes recorded, you can edit them within these platforms that I've suggested, or you can hire an amazing editor like I have in Daniel Ramirez of Dr. Podcasts. You've heard from him before, and you know he is amazing. Now, before we launch your podcast into the world, we need to give it a name and create cover art. Your cover art can be created for free in Canva. It's one of my favorite platforms. Now think about when you listen to your favorite podcast, like this one. What's the feeling you get when you hit play and the first thing you hear is the intro music? Does it represent the show you're about to listen to? You get to choose this music for your own show, so I think it should represent you. For my music, I wanted something that was upbeat and it reminded me of Jack Johnson and the beach. I spent hours listening to jingles, saving some, playing them for my husband and kids, and then finally knew this was the one for me and my show. I recommend using Audiojungle to find your music, but you can also hire someone to make something specifically for you. This music you will use for your intro and outro, which is at the end of your episode. For those of you who have been wanting to start that podcast, I want to help you do it. I want to help you create it, launch it, and do it the right way. Once you've launched it, I want to help you keep it going, keep it engaging, grow an audience, make money, and most importantly, make an impact. Allie and I have worked together, and along with becoming great friends who are always voice texting and sending each other thoughts and snippets of our lives, we decided we needed to come together and to create a program for you. As it stands right now, there are no podcast courses that will teach you everything there is to know about creating a podcast. I'm talking about the tech side, the nuts and bolts about all things podcasting, and how to master the creative content creation side. There is nothing like what we have created out there right now, and it is so needed. We are filling this gap in the market, and we cannot wait for you to get in here and see what it's all about. Allie is the host of The Purpose Show, who took a tiny podcast from nothing to over 5.5 million downloads in a couple of years, which is just absolutely amazing. I'm the producer of a number of top shows, and together we have created a program called Podcasting Confidence. In it, you're going to receive the absolute 411 of podcasting, from start to finish, from brainstorming to launching, to creating episodes, to sustaining your podcast and expanding it and your podcast audience. We are going to give you everything you need to create your episodes, publish them out into the world, and have confidence knowing that you did a good job and it's what your people need and will resonate with. We are going to help you spread the word about your show and gain an audience. We're going to help you create a community around your show to cultivate loyal, diehard fans who love you and believe in your message. We're going to help you generate money and sales from your podcast with or without sponsorships, and this course is going to give you the ultimate head start on all of it. We are covering all of the things that you would need to figure out the hard way, the expensive way, the time-consuming way, the discouraging way. You are going to get the pointed, direct answers from two experts in the field who are leading this game. Whether you're ready to launch a podcast or needing help to grow your own podcast, then we are here and we're ready to help you. Head over to podcastingconfidence.com for all the details. Next up, you will need a host, which is another platform that is going to send your show to all of the other podcast platforms. My number one recommendation is Libsyn. They have an easy-to-use website, and their customer service is literally the best of the best. The subscription tier I recommend is going to run you about $15 per month, but listen up to this. Use the code LIFE, L-I-F-E, and you will get the rest of the existing month for free and the entire next month for free. That means if you sign up on the second of the month, you are ultimately getting 2 full free months of hosting, and it really doesn't get better than that. All right, up to now, you've recorded, edited, you've got your music, your cover art, and your hosts, so now you can get approved to be on Apple Podcasts. And even though now you've technically launched, this is when people truly consider themselves to be launched. And this approval process could take up to 2 weeks, so just be prepared for that. Now you've done it. You've launched your podcast, but the next step is to attract listeners and grow it even more. So how do you do that? In Podcasting Confidence, I'm sharing 15 ways to do this. But for the sake of this being an overview and a podcast episode, I'm going to give you 2 ways to help you grow your podcast. And with this, it's going to be your show notes and your graphics. Podcasts are an audio, and the only way to find them is by searching in categories or a term within a description in your podcasting platform. By implementing show notes and adding them to your website, you're now SEO searchable, which means someone can Google your podcast to find it. Adding episode graphics are going to allow you to expand your reach when it comes to social media platforms, and therefore making it easier for potential listeners to find you. If you'd like this episode in a cheat sheet version, then I've got you covered with my podcast checklist that you can grab over at themslcollective.com in the show notes section. This is going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to create and launch your podcast, grow your audience, and create a community around your podcast. Then head over to podcastingconfidence.com and grab your course before the cart closes on Friday, August 28th. I want to hear the amazing podcast that you are going to launch into the world because you need to do it. You have the ability to change lives by sharing your message and story and knowledge, so it's your duty to launch your voice into the world. You can change the future for yourself and others, so what's stopping you? Until next week, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy.